What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the vlog. Man, it's been a hot minute. It really has. Believe it or not, I wanted to make content, but sometimes you just cannot make content, man. Specifically, what's happening in the trucking world. To be specific, in the West Coast on the load board. Let's talk about it. Okay, so first order of business. If y'all haven't seen a couple of my posts already, I made a post about this one right here. We gotta review it. We gotta review it. We gotta do a review on it. So far, I am very, very happy with it, okay? But that's not what we're talking about in this video. Just to let you know, this thing is amazing, okay? That's it. Where do I even begin, man? It's just so crazy what's been happening, right? So, you guys know, right after Labor Day, we dropped off that one load from that last video. We dropped off that one load. We picked up that thing, right, the PDI, and then we went home. We spent home about a week, right? And then we tried to go back out. Boy, I tell you, whew, it's rough out there, man. It really is. Believe it or not, it's so rough. Specifically in the West Coast, where I was at, you know what I mean? Las Vegas to, Southern California and to just everywhere, right? So I was sitting around for the whole week. The following week after Labor Day, I was thinking, well, maybe because I'm always watching the board, right? I was like, well, maybe because of Labor Day, so ain't nobody, you know what I mean, in full swing coming back to work yet. So I was like, okay, we wait till next week. So I look around next week after Labor Day, and man, it's still the same jump. And mind you now, during Labor Day week, after Labor Day week, there was an auction at Ritchie Bros, and that auction was ended on a Friday, I believe. Yeah, either a Friday or Saturday. Anyway, that should give us a lot of option as far as like a step deck with ramps to be able to get out of Las Vegas, right? I was like that, and I was banking on that, Anyway, there was a lot of loads, and I did find a load on a Tuesday or Monday evening. I found a load, right, and it was paying $1,200 to go into Fontana from Las Vegas. I was like, okay, perfect. We picked that load up, drop it off in Fontana, and then we got a whole week to pick up some partials if we can't find a full load, right? So, okay, perfect. So I asked details about this load, and then she couldn't tell me, so I was like, can you give me model numbers on these trucks? She gave me a picture of them, and then I looked them up, I just saw the pictures, okay? So I saw the pictures, I'm like, okay, those should be doable. So I was thinking, I'll take the 2 flatbeds, right? And we should be able to do this with no problems, okay? Next day, I get to Ritchie Bros, and then I'm going like, okay, we're ready to rock. Checked in, no problems. Look at the trucks, I'm like, wow. The flatbed, the 2-axle flatbed, right? The 650, I did not know they were that freaking long. That thing was long. To be specific, it was like 35 foot long. So we can't put another piece of those because like those, the other one, the other freaking 3 axles, they're gonna be at least 27 foot long. I mean, at the max, right? From wheelbase, their wheelbase are gonna be around 27 foot long. So I was like, well, we can't take that, right? We can't take the flatbed, the 2-axle flatbed with the 3-axle flatbed. So let me go look at the water truck. I look at the water truck, boy, I tell you, that water truck, yeah, it's a standard 27 foot long freaking wheelbase, right? But they have other attachment to it that it added like 4 foot. On the back, it added like 3 foot. On the front, it added like a foot. Okay? And I had no idea water trucks were like that. So we can't take two. Communicated this with a broker. And they were like, okay, let me figure it out. All right, cool. Now, mind you, this is a collect on delivery, okay? So COD. This was my dumb mistake, okay? I did not read it on the fine print when this particular broker is offering collect on delivery, right? Is that they don't pay Tonu. They do not pay Tonu. So I said, man, okay. They were like, okay, can you take one as a partial? So I said, okay, let's go $1,000. I'll take the partial. You know, just one piece. They're like, customer is only willing to go $650 most. I said, you take that $650, shove it where the sun don't shine. No, I didn't say that. I'm thinking that. I said, no, I can't haul it like that, right? I was like, okay, $1,000, let's go, man. It's already on the truck, right? Because it was already on the truck. One of them was already on the truck or on the trailer. I was like, $1,000, let's go. I'm ready to roll. They're like, well, customer don't want to pay that. I was like, okay, well, I'm taking it off. You pay me my Tonu, and then that's when they came back with like, okay, now we don't pay Tonu on collect on delivery, and it's on that fine print. I read it. It was on the fine print. And then that's when I got heated, okay? I was like, what kind of crap is that? You guys do business like that? This is how you do business? I was like, and then the main guy with this particular broker, or the main lady with this particular broker was like, why won't you? They were like, okay, we'll offer you $750. I said, no. I said $1,000. And then she was like, why won't you take it? Why won't you take $750? The truck is already on your trailer. All you got to do is secure it and roll. I said, you don't understand. If I take this right now for $750, okay, that's barely over $3 a mile. If I take this right now for $750, guess what you're gonna do next week? Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a lot lower. They're gonna be like, okay, they're gonna be offering it for $500. No, I'm not doing that shit. So I told them, I'm not playing this game with you guys, you know? Anyway, and then I was like, okay, I'm unloading this crap. She was like, you won't even take $750? That's so crazy. Like you said you run a business. I said, yeah, I run a business, but I'm not also going to run a business to where it's going to hurt my business in the future. And that's what you guys are fixing to do. You know, you're going to do this at $750. Next week, you're going to offer that same load for $650, and you're not going to budge because I did this for $750 right now. You know, and then I was like, and one another reason why I'm not gonna haul this for you right now, even though it makes business sense from my point of view, is that because the way you do business, you telling me you're gonna send me out here to work and try to figure this thing out when I ask you specifically for these, you know, for specific specs on these trucks. That what are the specs on these trucks, so I can let you know which one I'm gonna take. And you could not give me this information, and I had to come out here specifically myself because I'm working with you. You know what I mean? I want to work with you, just so we can get these things. You know, we can get this thing figured out. And when we finally figured it out, and it's not gonna work, and you're telling me you guys don't pay Tonu on that? Come on, man. What are you doing? You do business like that? I would never do business with you. You know? And that's what I told her. And then it's just all quiet from there. Yeah, I'm gonna put their freaking name on the thing, you know. So that's the end of that. Long story, it's a freaking mess. Okay, that's Tuesday. Okay, and Tuesday afternoon, I'm over here in front of Richie Bros. I'm looking for loads. There's loads. Trust me, there's loads. Okay. Now, I love the idea of partial, but I don't love the idea of abusing partial, okay? What I mean by that, okay, is that you have, so I got another broker. He needed a ramp. It's driver load and driver unload. And it's going to Boise, Idaho, from Las Vegas to Boise, Idaho. And he's partialing this load. It is specifically another water truck, which is gonna be about 30 foot long, okay? Coming from Richie Bros. And this guy is telling me, what do you call it? He's gonna partial it. What was that? 1,200 to go Boise, Idaho. I think it was 1,200. Yeah. Hold on. No, 1,000. If it was 1,000 to go to Boise, Idaho, I said, "Are you kidding me, bro? $1,000 to go to Boise, Idaho, in the middle of nowhere, where it's so dead over there, you can't even find a partial over there." You know? He said, "But it's partial." I said, "You're not understanding me. It's partial, but it's going to a dead zone. What are you talking about?" You know? And then he was like, "Okay, I guess I'll just find somebody who's motivated to make money." I said, "Man, I'm not even," and he said it exactly just like that, right? And I told him, "Man, I'm not even going to respond to that in a smart ass way. If you want me to, I can break down my costs per mile to move to you so you can understand. But I think it's going to be pointless because your brain doesn't function that way, you know." And I said it just like that. And I was like, "You have yourself a good day, sir." Am I wrong for that? Boy, I tell you, that's on a Tuesday, okay? So I was like, "Man, what the heck is going on," right? So I keep looking on the board, nothing worth taking, really, believe it or not, man. And it's so sad. It is so sad that we have this whole setup that we cannot move. I mean, we can move, but we're not going to be profitable. It's not a smart move. You know what I mean? Specifically from where we were, okay? And that's why I told you guys I'm not going to participate in this fucking shit. You know what I mean? Pardon my language. I'm just a little fired up, you know, with a lot of these things, okay? Anyway, I looked around the load board and nothing is happening, right? So I was like, "You know what, man? It might be time to just let the truck sit and trailer for a while. We're gonna go ahead and turn on Uber." Can you believe that shit? We got this whole setup, but we cannot get on the road to be profitable. We would rather do Uber. That's sad. That is so sad. Trust me, that is very sad. Okay, and there's loads. Okay, there's loads. I could have believe me, I could have deadhead into Southern California and probably have done the same thing I've done right now. Okay, now back to the story. Okay, I'm trying to tell you guys the week. Okay, I know it's gonna be a long story, but you gotta bear with me. So on a Wednesday, okay, I found this load. I was like, okay, cool. It's paying almost $4 a mile going into Salt Lake. Now, you have to remember, Salt Lake is a dead zone. Okay, so I let it sit there. And then the next day it was still there. Okay, the load itself. Okay, because nobody wants to go to Salt Lake, and it makes sense. So Wednesday evening, I found a load from Salt Lake going into Reno, Nevada. It's an oversized load, and they want 17 loads coming from the same carrier. Okay, so basically the way that load is going to work is that you're going to go pick up in the Salt Lake. It's an oversized load, right? Oversized over height. Okay, but we're going to be we don't need no escort, none of that, and we don't need no pull car, none of that. Okay, but it would have been paying $270 a mile, all miles. Okay, they said the brokers told me that it was underbid. The contract was underbid, so they don't got zero room in the negotiation. I said, so I let it sit and let it marinate for a while. I said, well, it's gonna keep me busy. You know, it's not too bad. It's a little oversized, but you're gonna come back empty, and so you're, you know what I mean? It's not that bad, right? A 270 mile on all miles. Okay. I said, okay, let's lock it in. So basically, the way that works is that they put a frame on your trailer. Okay, you carry this frame, and then they put these slabs of concrete on that frame, and then you haul that particular concrete into a project in Sparks, Nevada. To be specific, you take that same frame back into Salt Lake, you pick up another one, and then so on and so forth, and you come back and do it all over again 17 times. I said, you know what? That's gonna keep the truck busy for a month and a half. or at least a month and a half or something like that. And we ain't got crap going on over here. So let's go ahead and get this load coming from Las Vegas into Salt Lake, and then go get that load. And I locked it in with him before I got that load going into Salt Lake. And then I delivered that load to Salt Lake, and then I got Salt Lake, nothing, ghosted me. On my way to Salt Lake, ghosted me. Broker ghosted me, No rate cons were ever sent or nothing like that. We got set up with them and everything, So basically, I think what happened is like maybe somebody found that they found somebody cheaper. I don't know. I mean, the contract is still there. I know it's still there because they're pitching it, right? So they found somebody cheaper, okay? And we're not gonna move it for less than what what we agreed upon conversation, okay? You're not gonna do no less than that. Anyway, broker ghosted me, and then here it is. It's freaking. We picked up the load going from Las Vegas to Salt Lake on a Thursday, and then we got the load unloaded on a Friday morning, and here it is. It's Friday. We don't got a load, and it's Salt Lake. Boy, and you know what the sad thing is? That we could have had an easy load going into Michigan from Salt Lake, and it was paying like $220. That's where I want to be. Remember, I talked about it with you guys on the last video, like low twos on the long haul. That's what we're gonna be, okay? And it was gonna be paying like $218 or $220 or something like that a mile going into Michigan. That's not bad, right? Coming from Salt Lake going to Michigan, that's not bad. We're gonna be in a sweet spot, okay? And but it was posted for Friday. I saw it on a Thursday, and I keep calling this freaking guy. Never answered me. Just ghosted me the whole time. The whole time I'm coming from Las Vegas to Salt Lake, ghosted me. Okay, so and the load disappeared. Of course, somebody's gonna grab it, right? So there was another opportunity that early Friday morning. See, I didn't want to let the oversized, the agreement go. Verbal agreement, right? I didn't want to let that go because just in case maybe he was just like, he was out of the office that time already, I was like, okay, well, maybe he's not in the office anymore, so let me go wait till the morning, early morning. Left like 3 messages, nothing early in the morning, man. That's so sad, man. It's so sad. You know what I mean? Like, really, bro? You want to work? It's so crazy. I don't even want to get into it. Anyway, so we started looking around on the Salt Lake load board. Nothing. Around 10 o'clock, I found this container, right? The first container that we got on the upper deck. Got that. That's going. We found that for $2,000 listed. But I would have had to hurry, man. Now, luckily, we have this. So I adjusted the speed to 75 miles an hour. So we was hauling all the way from Eagle Mountain, Utah to freaking Ogden, Utah. That's like 70 miles. And we needed to be there within an hour. We were hauling. Anyway, we picked that up, and then we got there, and then freaking the lady that was loading us was like, no, you can't partial this out. I was like, what do you mean? And then I called the broker. Broker's like, man, don't worry about it. Don't worry about what they tell you. You got a contract with me. Okay, sounds good. Good enough. He said, if you want me to give it to you in writing, I'll give it to you in writing. You can partial that out. I don't care. Good enough. Okay. That first one is going to San Antonio, okay? It's from a base to another base, Lackland Air Force Base, I believe, is to be specific. And then, luckily, after we picked that up from Ogden, we found another partial, those bricks, those 4 pallets of bricks going towards Houston, okay? And then we got that loaded. It was in West Jordan. It was like less than an hour away from Ogden, okay? And then from Ogden, I know that engine in the back, I knew it was gonna be there, and they had it posted for $900, okay? Mind you, this thing weighs like 23,000 pounds or something like that. Because, what the heck? Because we're gross right now at 66, okay? And the load, the 2 partials we have in the front are around 10,000 pounds, okay? But Will grow 66. So this thing weighs about 25,000, something like that. Anyway, um, they had it posted for 900. It's going to Denver. I said, man, let's go 1,200, man. Let's go. We go get it right now. He said, man, I can't do it, man. He said, this thing can sit here for a year. They could care less, you know. So, so basically, what's happening with this engine? They're just gonna go ahead and getting it shipped over there from the Komatsu place in Salt Lake to get it rebuilt. Okay, it needs to be rebuilt. So that's what's happening with this engine. I said, man, it is already Friday evening. You know what I mean? We didn't have to pick this up. Really, we didn't. But I have a feeling that we might find another partial coming out of Denver, or maybe somewhere, you know, in the middle of Texas somewhere, going towards, you know, southern Texas or whatever. That's why I went ahead and grabbed this load, man. This load is paying $900, which is like $1.70 a mile to go into Denver. We're already heading that way. That was my reasoning for this. Or else I would have never taken this, man. You know, I mean, I don't know. I convinced myself on doing this, right? Because, make sure I'm still recording, Obi. I convinced myself in doing this because of going down that way, right? We're gonna be going towards this way anyway, going towards Houston, okay? From Salt Lake City. Is that with those two partials in the front, because it's already Friday at 5 in the evening after we got done with that second partial, is that we're gonna be rolling at $2.20 a mile with just those two partials, 10,000 pounds, okay? Nothing to it, okay? And I have a feeling that we might find something in Denver anyway. That's why. This thing is going to Denver anyway. That's why I went ahead and took it. So $2.20 a mile plus $1.70 a mile. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, it's just one of those things, you know. I think it's good to take it, and at the same time, I think it's a really cheap freight for what it is, you know. 12 foot, 25,000 pounds, and that brings me to my next point, which is these partials, okay? These partials are good and bad at the same time. I think these partials are ruining the rates most of the time, specifically in the West Coast, you know, because everybody, for some reason, want to partial everything out. 30 foot, 35 foot, you know what I mean? 30,000 pounds. Like, are you really partially not load out, man? It's like 30,000 pounds, like, you know, we're pretty standard for a step deck, you know what I mean? And we can haul, for the most part, is 44,000 pounds total, right? If you're already taking freaking 30 foot of my space, and if you're taking the lower deck, that is, 30 foot of lower deck, I don't got much room, you know? And you're gonna pay me $1.30 a mile? We don't got much room, man. It's so crazy, man. Anyway, that's I know, I feel like that's all we do nowadays is just bitch and complain about the market, you know. It's just that's not something I really like doing, but this is the reality of where we are right now, trucking wise, you know. I was looking at the Midwest the whole time. It looks like the Midwest is a lot more doable than the West Coast, so yeah. And that's why we decided to go here, you know. Actually, I was gonna decide to just do Uber, believe it or not. It's just, that's how bad the market is, you know. Like, see, the thing is, I don't want to deadhead freaking 1,000 or 1,200 miles just to get somewhere and be like, okay, we deadhead 200 or for 2 days, right? Or 3 days, let's just say 3 days. We deadhead for 3 days to get somewhere and get, you know, average about $2.50 a mile in that area, and then have to get back home again in 2.5 weeks. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not making no money, man. You know, you're really not. And then plus the fuel that you spent to get to Deadhead to get to that area, you know. So yeah, that's where we are, man. That's where we are. This is gonna be a quick, straightforward vlog. We're not gonna be doing nothing fancy on this. But that's the update, man. We're gonna be doing a review on this. I love this thing so far because it allows me to see the boost The boost is where it's important. Right now we're climbing, right? We're climbing at about almost 50 miles an hour, right? And I need to watch the boost to where I think I want to keep the boost around under 20. We're at 20 right now. So it's okay. We're gonna save a lot of fuel on that, like in the long run, I believe, if if I'm doing my math correctly. Anyway, we will see y'all in the next video.